The story begins right after World War II, when the Soviet Union captured thousands of German soldiers and sent them far away from home. Deep in the freezing lands of Siberia, we see a remote prison camp where everything is covered in snow, where the wind never stops, and where surviving one more day already feels like a victory. This camp holds German soldiers who were taken as prisoners after the war ended, and every one of them works day and night doing hard labor. Among them is a man named Clemens Forel, a soldier who has been sentenced to 25 years. That means 25 long years of cold, hunger, and punishment. But Clemens doesn't want to spend the rest of his life here. He wants to escape. He wants to go back to Germany. He wants to see his wife and his little daughter again. That hope is the only thing keeping him alive. The security in this camp isn't even that tight, because everyone knows the truth. Running away from this place is almost the same as choosing death. If the guards don't catch you, then the freezing mountains will freeze you to death. If the mountains don't get you, the endless snowfields will. There's nothing out there except ice, wind, and silence. But Clemens doesn't care. His heart is set on one thing: finding his family. And one dark night, while the guards are distracted, he quietly hides inside a coal wagon, hoping it will carry him far away from the camp. When the train moves, Clemens looks up at the sky and sees the stars for the first time in years. He feels alive, but that moment doesn't last. The train suddenly stops. As he looks outside, a Soviet officer spots him, drags him out, and takes him back to camp. This time the punishment is brutal. Clemens is thrown into a tiny underground cell where cold water drips from the ceiling, where the air burns his lungs, and where he is kept without food. It's torture, and surviving it feels impossible. But somehow, he holds on. After 3 long days, the warden pulls him out and sends him back to the other prisoners. Those men haven't eaten for 3 days because of Clemens's escape attempt, and the moment they see him, anger takes over. They beat him brutally until he collapses. Later, a doctor, who is also a prisoner, treats his wounds and listens to his story. Clemens tells him he doesn't want to die here. He wants to go home. The doctor quietly reveals something terrifying to Clemens. The work they're doing every day, digging for lead ore, is slowly poisoning their bodies. Tiny particles are getting into their lungs and their blood, causing an illness no one can survive. Then the doctor tells him the harsh truth: escaping is nearly impossible. Even if Clemens manages to run, the freezing cold outside will kill him. But if you stay here, the doctor warns, you're going to die anyway. So if you ever get a chance to escape, you have to take it. The doctor knows he doesn't have much time left, and that's why he makes a decision that changes everything. He gives Clemens the warm clothes he had secretly saved, the sturdy boots he had prepared for his own escape, and even a gun with a few bullets. He also tells Clemens something important. Along the railway lines, he has hidden food in small spots, so Clemens won't starve along the way. Then he hands him a small metal lunchbox and says, "If you survive, if you make it out, give this to my family. Tell them I'm gone." It's a quiet moment, filled with sadness and hope. That night, as a violent snowstorm hits the camp, Clemens uses the chaos to run again, and this time, he disappears into the endless white darkness. The next morning, the warden learns the doctor is dead. That only makes him angrier. He sends his soldiers into the wilderness and orders them to bring Clemens back, dead or alive, but no one finds him. The soldiers assume the cold has killed him. The warden refuses to believe it. He knows a man like Clemens doesn't die easily, and he's right. Somewhere far away, Clemens is still walking through the storm. For 9 endless days, he pushes forward through blizzards and frozen silence. He hardly sleeps. His food runs out. He dreams of dogs chasing him through the snow. He wakes up shaking, unsure of what's real anymore. The cold slips under his skin and tries to break him. Finally, he collapses from hunger and exhaustion. When he wakes, he hears a strange sound, a seal. He sees it lying on the ice. He takes out his gun and fires, but he misses. The seal escapes behind an icy ridge. Clemens knows this is his only chance at food, so he follows it. When the seal appears again, he fires his last bullet. This time, the shot is perfect. He finally has food, and after many starving days, he eats until he can breathe again. The next morning, he keeps going, using his compass to stay on the right path, talking to himself just to stay awake. Weeks pass. More than 2 months after running away, he finally sees a dry tree standing in the middle of the frozen land. It's the first sign of life he's seen in months. He smiles for the first time in forever. It means he has crossed the Arctic. He's alive. Somewhere else, the warden is still looking for him. He refuses to give up. He orders his soldiers to search within a 500-meter radius, convinced Clemens is somewhere out there. Meanwhile, Clemens reaches a forest, but the trees are dry and dead. A snowstorm hits again. Trees crack and fall. One of them lands on Clemens, pinning him down. He tries to move, but he can't. Just when everything seems lost, 2 men appear. They're gold hunters. They lift the tree, save him, and take care of him. Months pass while Clemens heals. The snow melts. Rivers flow again. When he's strong enough, the 3 men build a small wooden raft and try to travel downstream, but the river turns violent. One man falls in. Clemens jumps after him and saves him from drowning, but their other companion panics, pushes the raft away, and steals the gold they found. Later, when Clemens brings the injured man home, they discover the thief has already reached the house with the gold, pretending the other was dead. But the moment the injured man steps inside, he realizes the truth. His friend betrayed him. Rage takes over. He shoots the man who abandoned him. After that, Clemens and the injured man leave together, and their journey doesn't get easier. They still have months of walking ahead through forests, rivers, and snowfields. And somewhere in those harsh months, their friendship starts to crack. One day, exhausted and half mad, the man thinks Clemens wants to steal his gold. He attacks him. Clemens slips, falls down a slope, and loses consciousness. Hours later, the sound of wolves wakes him. A pack surrounds him. He climbs a thin tree, but the wolves bite his leg and try to drag him down. The tree snaps, but before the wolves reach him, gunshots echo through the forest. Local villagers appear and kill the wolves. They carry Clemens to their remote village. When he wakes, he feels warmth for the first time in years. A fire, a roof, people helping him. But this moment of peace doesn't last. The Soviets send a message to the village warning them. A German prisoner has escaped, and anyone who shelters him will be executed. The villagers have no choice. They give Clemens food, warm clothes, and even a loyal dog to travel with. Then they tell him he must leave to save everyone's life. And just like that, Clemens starts walking again. This time, with only a dog as his companion, across thousands of miles of wilderness. For the next year, Clemens walks across brutal landscapes with nothing but his dog at his side. One day, after months on the road, he reaches a small industrial area where a group of mill workers are loading supplies. His dog runs toward them, barking happily, and Clemens rushes after him, worried they might hurt the animal. But instead, the workers recognize him. The exhaustion on his face, the worn-out clothes, the way he carries his body, they know he's the escaped prisoner everyone has been talking about. The workers quietly take him inside and bring him to the mill owner. Clemens tells the man everything, how he escaped, how long he has been traveling, and how desperately he wants to go home to his family in West Germany. The owner listens in silence, and something inside him softens. He decides to help. He puts Clemens on a train that will take him far away from danger. For the first time in 7 years, Clemens finally believes he might make it home, but when the train stops at a station, Clemens's hope shatters instantly. He sees Soviet soldiers everywhere. He realizes the truth. The workers he trusted have betrayed him. They informed the warden, and the warden himself is waiting on the platform, scanning the crowd, knowing Clemens will try to get off. Before the soldiers can surround him, Clemens grabs his dog and runs. The Soviets chase him through the station. Clemens hears gunshots. He keeps running. Suddenly he stops, because right in front of him stands the warden. For a moment, the world freezes. The man who hunted him for 7 long years is now only a few steps away. The warden reaches out, ready to capture him, but Clemens' dog leaps forward and attacks the warden, giving Clemens a chance to escape. Soldiers fire their rifles. Clemens hears a single painful yelp from behind. His dog, the only friend he had left, has been killed. The grief hits him like a punch, but he cannot stop. He keeps running because stopping means death. He reaches a bridge just as a train passes underneath. Without thinking, he jumps. He lands hard on top of the moving train, clings to the metal, and disappears from the soldier's reach. Once again, he survives, and the journey continues. Many more months pass before Clemens finally reaches Central Asia. He is starving, exhausted, and almost unrecognizable. He wanders into a small town where a festival is taking place. The smell of food fills the air, and he watches people eat pancakes, wishing he could buy just one. But he has no money. As he turns away, a young girl takes pity on him. She hands a child a piece of pancake and tells him to give it to the hungry stranger. Clemens takes the small piece of warm food, and for the first time in years, he feels human again. A Jewish man nearby notices something unusual about Clemens. Suspicious, he follows him into a quiet church. Clemens kneels to pray, and the man slowly approaches. Instead of turning him in, he smiles and gently says he used to be a prisoner too. He understands what Clemens is going through. He takes him home, gives him clean clothes, shaves his beard, and finally helps him become himself again. Then he does something even greater. He creates a fake passport for Clemens and tells him he can now go home. Clemens is overwhelmed with emotion. After 7 years of running, someone has finally given him a real chance. With the passport in hand, Clemens travels toward the Iranian border. At the checkpoint, he shows his papers. The officer looks at them, looks at Clemens, and then nods. He is allowed to cross. Clemens steps forward, ready to leave Soviet territory behind forever. He walks across a bridge, almost crying with relief. But halfway across, a shadow blocks his path. A bright light shines on his face, and standing right in front front of him is the warden. Clemens turns around and realizes something horrifying. He is still on Soviet soil. The warden has every legal right to arrest him, and Clemens, after everything he survived, breaks down inside. 7 years of running, suffering, hunger, cold, loneliness, all of it about to be lost forever. He can't even speak. He just stands there, defeated. But then something unexpected happens. The warden slowly steps aside. He doesn't say a word. He doesn't raise his gun. He just lets Clemens walk past him. Because even though the warden caught him, just like he promised he would, he also knows Clemens earned his freedom. Their 7-year battle ends with both men winning in their own way. Clemens walks forward, crosses the border, and finally makes it to West Germany. It's Christmas. Snow falls gently. People walk toward the church, dressed in warm clothes and holding candles. Clemens sees his wife and little daughter walking toward the church entrance. He follows them inside. His daughter turns around, looks at him, and instantly recognizes her father. She runs straight into his arms, crying and laughing at the same time. His wife joins them, unable to believe he is actually alive. After 7 long years, Clemens Farrell is finally home, and that ends Clemens' incredible journey. A reminder that hope can survive even the coldest places on Earth. Before you go, comment your favorite moment, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more intense movie recaps. Your support keeps these stories alive.